Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Ken here, and today I'm going to dig deep into one of the most controversial subjects that I know of in the entire coaching industry. Where do you start? If you want to build a massive coaching business and you want thousands of clients to build a seven-figure business, there's so much conflicting information out there. Do you start high? Do you start low? Do you give away something free? We're going to go through it all in this session, so stay tuned.
So the big question is this: how is a tiny percentage of entrepreneurs blow the pack away? What are they doing that we're not? I asked myself that question for 10 years. I was failing forward and getting sick of it. I wanted to build a coaching business, but couldn't make any headway. So I started studying. I realized that the world's most elite marketers, entrepreneurs, and gurus were all using the same 4-step system. I call it the authority factor. On the show, I'm going to prove to you that the authority factor worked for them and it'll work for you. My name is Ken Dunn. Let's get started.
Let's get started. Hey, everybody. Hey, today I want to talk about in detail exactly how do you build a 7-figure coaching business and what is it all about? And I want to demystify some of the real big struggles, the arguments, the things that we all go through if we're trying to build big coaching businesses. Because the fact of the matter is, in the world we're living in today, especially in light of everything that's happening right now with this pandemic, there has never been a better time for you to build a big coaching business. More people than ever before are spending money in this space. It's estimated that more than $3 million a day is being purchased in online courses right now, and it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing. And so if you're watching this show, or if you're listening to this show right now, then the real question on your mind is, how do you do it? What I wanted to do is talk in detail about this, because there's a lot of conflicting information out there right now. Before I jump heavy into this, though, if you want to ask any questions, or if you've got some information to share, any comments to share, then just go into the chat and add them. I use StreamYard for all of my broadcasting. And I'm doing a broadcast now, the first time ever, on many, many platforms at the same time. So I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work. But one thing I do know, in order for me to see your comments, you've got to click on that little StreamYard link above this video, and it's going to help you to, I think you've got to give permission for me to see you or something. But listen, let's get into this right now. And I'd love to hear your feedback as we're going through this. So I've been helping people for the last, goodness gracious, it's been a while now, for the last 10 years to build coaching businesses. What's a coaching business? It's really simple. It's where you have amassed a significant amount of experience in your life, and you're the person that everybody else is always asking for help. And, one day it hits you, you say, I think I want to, why don't I get paid for doing this? Why don't I get paid, actually make money for doing this? Have you ever asked yourself that question? If you have, go into the chat or let me know if you have. If you've ever been in that situation where a lot of people are asking you questions about the same topic, pulling the expertise out of you, and you say, man, I should be getting paid for this. Well, the answer is yes, you should. But how do you go about doing it? How do you build a coaching business? If you were starting today and you'd never, ever gone into the world of coaching, how do you actually do it? Craig Douglas knows. I'm working with Craig right now. Dr. Stacy is building a massive coaching business. Dr. Stacy's here today. Good to see you, Dr. Stacy, Craig, and everybody that's here right now. But how do you do it? Like, what's the secret? There's a couple basic elements that are really important. Inside of my Authority Factor webinar, which I put a link to in the comments if you want to check it out, I literally explain in detail, how do you exactly figure out an entire coaching business? Here's a Coles Notes version of that. First, you got to know who it is you want to serve. And the more detailed you are, the better off you're going to be. Ask yourself, who is my ideal client? And don't be afraid to get specific about this. In fact, I encourage you to write this down. Detail out the gender, the age, the interests, the likes, what they look like today, what stress are they going through, what struggles they're going through, and What is it exactly that you want to help them with? Now, the more specific you are about these issues, the better off you're going to be. Because a great coaching business, certainly a 7 or an 8-figure coaching business, is going to be built around solving their problem. So knowing what the problems you want to help them with right up front is going to save you so much time. Then once you have that really understood and documented, the next question you ask yourself is, what does happily ever after look like? What is life going to look like for them at the end of the road? And again, write it out in detail. For the fitness coach, they've lost weight, they're feeling better, they're feeling great about themselves. For the mindset coach, they're making better decisions, they've got great relationships with their family. For the person who wants to build a coaching business around teaching golf, they're playing scratch golf, they're loving the game, there's no back pain. I've got clients in my master's program, Tammy and Barry Gibson, that are doing amazing work around that specific niche. What they're actually doing is they're building an entire coaching business around helping middle-aged golfers play their best golf and without any pain or discomfort or body problems. So you decide what it is you want to help people with and get as specific as possible. Once you do that, then you build your client journey. What's the client journey? Hey, Mohammed, good to see you, brother. The client journey is the journey you're going to take them on. So in your coaching business, here's what you ask yourself as you're planning all this stuff out. You say, let's say somebody came to you today, they were your ideal client, and they had those specific problems you were talking about. What if let's just assume they're paying you $50,000 for 90 days, and they're saying, I'll do whatever you say, tell me exactly what to do. Well, what you do then, it's really simple. You create a client journey. So you reverse engineer it. You say, okay, what's the very first thing that I need to do with this person? That becomes step 1. Now, in a lot of cases, that's going to be like a discovery phase to figure out where they're really at today. Step 2 is where you create a plan. But step 3 and onwards is really specific to what your expertise is. For the fitness coach, it's a whole step around diet. This is where you're going to do all your diet teaching. The next step will be fitness. The next step will be mindset. The next step after that will be the first 10 days or the first 7 days, and then the first 30 days, then the first 90 days. And what you've got there is the entire life cycle of your ideal client in your coaching business. But what you also have, if you do this properly, is the content of a book that you should absolutely write and the content of a course that you should actually build. So all your products, all your coaching, everything comes out of this same client journey. Now, once you've got this client journey built, the next step is super, super easy. You build what we call a value ladder. See, what you want to do in your coaching business is you want to start off by attracting attention to yourself and providing free value, getting people interested in you. And then after you do that, you build a value ladder, which really helps you to get really clear on what products and services you're going to offer to people. I know for a lot of people, this stuff gets really overwhelming. If you get overwhelmed by all this stuff and you're watching this on a live video, go into the comments and just let me know that you felt that overwhelmed. You want to do it, but when you think about all the different things that need to be done, you get overwhelmed by it. For me, that was my problem. I first wanted to start a coaching business back in 2004. And I really didn't understand how to get that business started. And when I started listing out all the different things I needed to do, it overwhelmed me. And I would try and take a stab at some of the things that I needed to do to get this coaching business off the ground. But most often I would fail with it. I never gave up, though. I started studying other experts, people that were really in the zone and making lots of money. And I started paying for coaches. I paid Russell Brunson hundreds of thousands. I paid Frank Kern and Ryan Dice and Tony Robbins and Brendan Burchard. And I started studying a lot of these people from the inside because I was in their programs. And what I realized is all of these people, they were literally all following the same journey in building their coaching businesses. And I know that most of them didn't realize it. It's so much easier to see things from the outside looking in. I started realizing that the journey they all went through from getting started to an 8-figure business was simple. And it was so simple, in fact, that when I started writing out the steps that I was seeing them all going through, the commonalities, and I decided I wanted to simplify this, I was able to compact it into 4 different steps. And I call that the Authority Factor Protocol. This is the protocol that I have taught to thousands of people. And a lot of them have paid big money to learn them, but hundreds of people are literally making 5 and 6 and 7-figure incomes, just like Dr. Stacy that was here a little earlier. Maybe she's still here. So if you're sitting here right now, what I want to debate with you, or what I want to debate to the world, what I want, Deborah says, that's awesome. Nice to see you, Deborah. You just have to block me permanently, but I'll take care of that if you don't want to. What I want everybody to understand is that if you really want to build a big coaching business, it's following this same journey that's going to get you there. So you've got to start off with building yourself. What does that mean? That means take the time to do that client journey and get it really figured out. And once you've figured out exactly what it is, then get comfortable sharing that information with other people. I encourage everybody that's in my Authority Factory community to get involved in some type of professional speaker education. The better you are at sharing your information and speaking with other people, the easier of a journey you're going to have. That's the first step. And if you've got to pay somebody else to help you become a better speaker, then do it. So you've got to get active on all the social media platforms. You've got to start adding value on Facebook, on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, you name it. The real question you want to ask yourself is, once you know who your ideal client is, then ask yourself, what platforms are they hanging out on? And those are the platforms that you need to be on. And get into adding value to people's lives. That's all part of building yourself. So essentially, here's how it works. You're going to get into social media posting, and you do that every day. And you're going to go live, just like I'm doing with you right now, a couple times a week. And you're doing it all for free just to help people. But because of the way social media works, when people start engaging with your posts, they're watching your live videos, or they're looking at your posts, all of the social media platforms notice that, and they track it, and they allow you to communicate with them. It's often through paid advertising, but it's worth it. So now you're moving along in the journey. So you did the client journey. Now you're starting to teach for free. And I know some people are saying, well, if I teach all this stuff for free, who's going to pay me? They all will. It's all about repurposing the same content. People want to hear from you upfront for free to know what you're able to teach and that you know what you're talking about. Then they'll pay for you for the chance to get closer to you and to learn more directly from you. And you do that through paid advertising. Now, what the big thing I saw with all of the experts I was studying, that they were all using the same technique to move people from social media. Hello, Marsha LaCour. To move people from social media to their email lists. And that was the next step. I noticed that as they all started to build their followings, they were also moving people onto their email lists. How do you do that? You do that through what we call lead magnets, giving away free value. So write an ebook, not giving away everything, but around one specific area. Ask yourself, in all the things that you teach, what is something that I can teach somebody that they will get a tangible result from fast? In the best case, within 7 to 10 days. In my business, I built a lead magnet teaching people how to build massive Facebook pages, because that was something that they could get and that they would get really fast. And 100% of people that use my strategies do it. And here's what's going to happen. If you build like a free ebook that you give away teaching one specific strategy, then people will download that guide from your funnel and they're going to give you their email address. Why? Because it's something they're already trying to fix. Dr. Stacy did a lead magnet around what we call She calls it the 10 down in 10 days program. If you want to go to 10 down, the number 10down10days.com, you're going to see an amazing example. You can download a free guide that will show you how to lose 10 pounds in 10 days. So to come up with the right lead magnet, just simply ask yourself, what is something that I can teach that people are looking to solve right now? And then you get them to sign up. You run paid ads, of course, and I can show you. If you watch the Authority Factor webinar that's in the comments above or below this video, you'll see that. Or it's in the show's notes if you're listening to the podcast. Each of those people that download that guide, remember, I used to be a police interrogator. I studied subconscious response to stimuli for years. Each of the people that download that guide, there is something really important that's happening at a subconscious level. When somebody goes through a lead magnet and downloads the guide, they're accepting you as an authority on that subject at a subconscious level. So that means that if you can find the right thing to sell them at that very moment as a next step, the chances of them buying that thing are dramatically higher. So we use Tripwires to do that. On the second page afterwards, you sell them a mini course for $7 that accompanies, it makes the free thing you gave away even easier. So friends, look what we're doing. This is what all the experts do. They build their list, that's step 3. And they're building a segmented list because they're giving away a free guide that gets lots of people on the list. And then on the second page, they're selling them a really inexpensive product that, because they grabbed your free guide, this really inexpensive product literally makes the free guide easier, and they buy it. And another subconscious trigger goes off. I loved all of the learning I did back in the police interrogation days. Thanks, Craig. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you to you too, Dr. Stacy. And thank you to Deborah too for her comments. Can't make them all happy. Can't please them all. But here's what happens when people buy. I call it a gateway offer. When people buy something you're selling that's related to a pain point that they already have, that's less than $7, it's an emotionless decision. It's a spontaneous decision. I'll give you an example. Let's say somebody goes into a Starbucks. Why are they going in? It's because they want to buy a coffee and they know the coffee's in there. Let's liken that to them downloading your guide. Why did they download your guide? It's because they already had the problem. They knew they had the problem. They were looking for the answer. Well, if somebody goes into a Starbucks because they know they want to buy a coffee, they don't go in, look at the menu, and then leave. The vast majority of the time, they buy the coffee. Well, in that same idea, when somebody downloads your guide at a subconscious level, they're already saying, I need help with this. And then you offer them a low ticket item we call a gateway product that helps them make that thing easier. They buy it. Then when they buy that thing, another subconscious trigger goes off. They're now at a subconscious level accepting you as an authority, and they are much more likely to buy other things that you sell. In my business, from one lead magnet tripwire strategy, I've added 800,000 people to my email list, and over 40,000 people have spent $7. But here's the most important part. In the Authority Factor world that I live in, all my students, I actually teach them how to track these metrics over time. The lifetime value of an average client of mine that started with a $7 purchase is over $3,000. $3,000. And you can do that exact same strategy. Now, you're probably sitting here saying, well, how do I figure all this stuff out? How do I figure out what the free thing is and what the first thing I sell is and where do they go next? That's why you need to click on the link above this video and watch the whole Authority Factor presentation. I lay it out. I lay it out right there. That's why you need to create your value ladder. So you can figure it out right on that value ladder what the next steps are. In my business, after they've spent the $7, then I offer them what I call a pain point course. In my world, it's a course called Online Course Made Easy because most of them know they want to build an online course, and I help them to do that. And it's a $1,000 purchase. And then from there, I have a marquee course. So the next step is a course about the entire strategy. Now, some people will say, well, if you're doing a course about the entire strategy, why bother to do other courses along the way? It's because if I tried to sell my marquee course right up front, the entire strategy, it would be overwhelming for people. It would cause confusion. And you know what they say? The confused mind takes no action. And so it's like, if you're understanding this, if this is making sense to you, feel free to put comments in the chat. If I don't catch them live, I'll definitely circle around and get them on the replay. It's unbelievable. It's an amazing strategy. But the reason I wanted to do this video today was because I saw an advertisement on Facebook just a few days ago, and there was a lady running ads telling people that they should start off by running a program and selling a high ticket offer, like $100,000 offer. And her justification or her explanation was that you can, if you're trying to make $100,000, you could sell one person $100,000, or you could sell 100 people $1,000, or you could sell 10,000 people $10. That's what her kind of her protocol was, or her idea was. But what is the answer to that question? Do you start off by trying to sell something for $100,000 to one person, or do you start off in a strategy like I'm suggesting, which would be the opposite, right? I suggest and encourage everybody to do what I did. I give stuff away for free. I build trust right up front by giving away a free offer, and then people decide if they want to continue on a journey with me or not. That's the secret. That's what I believe the secret is anyway. And I would strongly encourage you to check this out. If you watch this video and you've already been thinking, I want to build a business around my expertise. I want to help a lot of people. I really would love to figure out how to launch a coaching business, how to scale a coaching business. If you're thinking these things already, then all you have to do is go to the link in the notes and watch the entire Authority Factor presentation. It is 90 minutes, so sit down, grab a coffee, and go through the information. I will show you exactly how to identify the niche that you need to be in, the pain points of the avatar, the people you're looking at, and then what is the right free offer, what is the right gateway offer, what is the right pain point course, and then where do you go after that? Do you do a marquee course? Do you do one-on-one coaching? Do you do retreats? But all of this is designed to help you build a 7-figure business. Thanks, Pam Dubois. I appreciate that. All this is designed to help you build a 7-figure business around your expertise. The world needs you right now. There is so much change going on right now. More people than ever are spending money looking for an expert to help them solve their problems. And you're not helping anybody standing on the sidelines. If you've had even a fleeting thought about launching a coaching business, then click on that link in the notes and watch the entire presentation. You won't regret it. Have a great day, everybody.